unintentionally, I felt like I kind of grew up in the personal development space. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but I went to 2 different military schools about 7 years when you add them both up. Wow. So personal development for me at a young age was something that I was very fortunate. It was almost kind of like a blessing in disguise. We could get into that a little bit later, but personal development for me was, I mean, that was my upbringing. So then when I was able to now travel and continue to learn this on a different platform, being business, I was like, man, I'm all in. So the World Shakers Conference was almost a journey that I've been on for, like I said, maybe about 6 years, attending all these events and networking. I mean, you guys are in business. You guys understand, right? Picking up all the different lingo of, different industries.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I've been able to build all these relationships, and I think God just gave me the opportunity to finally open up those doors. And yeah, we decided to just kind of go for it. I hit up my team and I was like, hey, I know this sounds kind of weird and kind of odd, but we're going to throw a conference called the World Shakers Conference. And this is a vision. This is what I want to get done. These are the speakers we want to try to invite. This is really the psychology behind it. Obviously we're keeping it 100, right? Yeah. We're going into a recession. When that happens, people start looking for opportunity. Then depression hits, health goes down, divorces go up. So really, like, the World Shakers Conference and that movement, which is now going to be a business, it's going to be an annual event, is going to be, how could we impact people spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially? And that's really what I'm about, and that's what the World Shakers Conference was all about. So it was great.
And the way you explained it earlier right now, it's like, I think that you have all the correct pillars, because sometimes people do it the opposite. They work, first their financials, and then they work on themselves last. But I think in reality, it's like, you planting the seed, you're watering the seed, and it grows into a tree. So you got to first work on yourself in order for you to, to get to that top level of success, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the conference that you guys did, I can guarantee that it shook a lot of people. Because right now, the way I see things is like, people have to start getting ready for what's to come. So they have to be mentally strong, because right now, the people that are not mentally strong or are not ready to prepare themselves, they're just going to fall into some crazy situations.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the money. We were just talking about it right before we went live. And what I like to tell everybody, I mean, I tell this to our team all the time, is, guys, entrepreneurship it's an inside out approach. It starts from within.
Yeah.
And ultimately what you're carrying inside, whether that be shame, guilt, happiness, whatever it is, whatever emotions you have inside of you, is ultimately going to be a reflection of your family life, right? Your love life, your business, your brand, whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I completely agree with you, Carla. It's an inside out approach.
It's like when I recall the moments when my dad was here. I was 17 and I was talking to him about wanting to open up my own business, right? So at that time, I was like scared, but my dad at that time sat me down. He's like, you shouldn't be scared. He's like, you should be scared of walking out that door, going to school, or, going about your day. You can die. A car can hit you. A plane can fall on you. So what's the difference between you going out, going to school, or doing what you got to do versus opening up a business? You have to take that chance. And if it doesn't go well, don't worry. You can pick yourself back up and do it a different way, Yeah. So he always kind of pushed us to make sure that don't be scared of doing something that you want to do to, to grow in life, right?
Yeah.
So as a young kid, I was always like, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to put it to work. We were always taught that don't be scared of taking that next step.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even during a recession, I think it's interesting because a recession exposes that we have no control over these extenuating circumstances, right? Like none of us could control the stock market. None of us could control the housing market, right? So what happens is when you can't control the outward, you have to look inward to see about what you can change inside. And so that's kind of what we have been doing, is kind of growing our skill set, growing our toolbox, offering more services, self-improvement, so that we can be better for our clients, be better for our families, and then be a better representative of what we want to be in the world. And I think right now you've seen a resurgence in church attendance. You've seen a resurgence in people attending conferences. We just went to that Connecting Faith and Business conference that AMPAC put on. The last one was 2019. Didn't know how the crowd was going to be at the event. Well, it ended up more people showed up than bought tickets in advance. They had to bring in more tables to allow for more people. So what it shows is people are looking for what's that secret ingredient to get me through this recession.
I call it, I love that because I call it the X factor.
Yeah. Yep.
Every team, every champion. I like to refer a lot of things to sports, right? Every team, every championship team has to have an X factor. For us, that X factor, believe it or not, is faith.
Yeah,
that's
right.
true.
And I want to go back to what you said. Fear, right? Part of our brand, Ambitious Fits. We have a line that says, we have a shirt that says fearless, right? But we intentionally broke it up because let's be honest, we're all going to have fear.
Yeah.
At some point, like we could all be human.
Yeah. Yep.
But the goal with that shirt and that movement, it's a mentality, is just to fear a little bit less every single day. Now, if we could take on the mentality of just, you know what? Let me kind of jump a little bit further today. Let me take that extra step. Let me make that one more phone call, right? We were talking about phone calls. Let me pick up that one more. Who knows what is going to be on the other side of that call?
Yeah.
Right. And when we move with that type of mentality, now you start to do something called habit stacking.
Yep.
And you start to increase that mentality. 100% people are going right now towards personal development. And unfortunately, a lot of people will be exposed, but a lot of people will also, I think the right people will start to appear in the right businesses. The right opportunities, the right doors will start to open. Right? We say it all the time in our office is a high tide raises all boats.
That's right.
So when you start to surround yourself with those leaders, with those motivators, right? With those people that go inward. That's why I love hanging out with you guys, right? Because you guys are people that are going inward all the time. Not only just on business and development, but on faith. And faith is that X factor that we were talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
People are looking for substance. Prior to the recession, the cribs, clothes, and cars was the grab. Now people want more. People want, okay, let's put that aside. What else do you have? What do you have that's going on inside of you? What's that substance? Because for me, the confidence that I go into every day is that I know that the Bible says greater is he that's in me than he who's in the world. So I know that whatever comes against me, I can overcome it. And at the end of the day, no one but God has a heaven to put me in or a hell to send me to. So as long as I'm good with God, I can face any adversity that I come up against. And so once you have that confidence, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, how many times you fail. It's just a learning experience. You pick yourself back up and you go to the next experience. Yeah. But you have to have that resolve. And that's what we've seen even in the commercial industry is these entrepreneurs that are willing to take a risk on themselves. They'll bet it all. If they're going to bet anything, they'll bet on themselves to come out of this recession with a successful business.